So, dude, this is like a lot of like video I have to edit, but either way, I don't know how I'm gonna split it up. But if anyone is dealing with like mental health issues, right? Like, trust me, brother, and trust me, sister, I am right there with you. Okay, so I'm gonna go to a thrift shop because I need a chair. Cause dude, this chair right here that I've been using is gonna break within this camping trip. So yeah, there's a thrift shop I know, which is cool about this like camp spot, the Kern River. It's like a lady that runs it, and like it's very private, but like I'll let you see the inside of it. It's seriously, there's so many things that like are useful in camping, and they're like so cheap. Also, this is something that I learned in vidIQ. There's like a little section to make your YouTube page better. If you don't know what vidIQ, you should go look that up. vidIQ, start watching videos. The algorithm for YouTube is not to like have more views. The algorithm for YouTube is for you to stay on YouTube longer. So the feed, right? When people watch YouTube videos, there's like suggested videos, and sometimes you get popular ones and sometimes you get unpopular ones. It's an algorithm for to keep the viewer on, so they're always going to give you related content after the video you just watched. So this is where titles become very important, because if the viewer was like looking at how do I solo camp, if the next video is something far off the title, they're gonna just skip to the next one. So if they're watching how do I start solo camping, a next video title or your title, it should be how I started my solo camping adventures, and maybe that viewer will want to stay and watch your experience. And that's how the algorithm works. People outside, oh, we got a jet. Dude, that one was so close and I got it. I seriously love it here. When I was young, I used to litter too, in nature, just as beautiful, and it's just because I was ignorant, you know? That's why people could trash places like this. Also, these are the times where I really love my ADHD. If anyone wants to know, if you have ADHD, your short-term memory is really bad. Like, I forget things all the time, but my long-term memory is really good. So it's to survive and like respect nature and like find your inner self, you know, and like bring that goodness back into society instead of bringing like all the negative things in society to nature, like throwing away your garbage, you know. But seriously, I love the fact that like I'm working and like I'm like looking around and I'm like, dude, this is like the sickest office in the world. So I have a favor. I know my videos aren't the best, I agree, but if you could comment like your thoughts of like how I could make these videos better, I would really appreciate that, because I would really like to continue what I'm doing right now. Thank you so much. So this is the thrift shop that I've been to before, and yeah, I will ask the owner for permission and see if I could record, because there's so many good things inside a thrift shop. There really is. Honestly, if it wasn't for solo camping, I probably would have never started looking inside thrift shops for stuff. This is perfect. So yeah, this is the thrift shop in Kernville. It's so nice.
What really works for me about it all is that we have such great people in the community that that
absolutely, you know.
And it really isn't to me; it's to the community, and I know that. I have a big responsibility to make sure I get it out to them.
Absolutely, you know, in Bakersfield, they're very polite, so it's like it must be great to like work with the polite crowd.
Yeah, well, I've been a bartender for 35 years.
So you're social, like, yes ma'am. Okay, well thank you. Thank you for letting me record too. I bought a cup here one time for $1.25. So the only reason I'm here is to buy a chair. Yeah, dude, this is all I need. Sweet. I'll show you. Yeah, this one's better. This was better. I'm so glad I saw that. So it's, if I could get this one, how much would this be?
I'm gonna have to ask Marcus to decide.
Okay. Dude, I love this chair. So sweet. I got this chair for $6 at Sierra Nevada Boutique Thrift Shop. So yeah, if you're ever in Kern River, highly recommend here. The owner's name is Marcy. Very nice lady. She'll give you a good for sure. So I just finished getting this fruits Sierra Gateway. I'll be honest, I don't want to record where like there's a bunch of people, but the thrift shop is cool. But yeah, it's got a bunch of fruit. Sweet. Now back to camp. And this is where I will not leave for like another 3 days. Like now I have everything I need. $6. Sick. So yeah, there was an excessive heat warning, supposed to be, or that was the warning. That's the reason I came out. But it's actually not that bad. If anything, in excessive heat weather, I would recommend going camping near the river. It's actually cooler. So this is just a random thought while I was watching this. So I play guitar, and I just started like hitting the drum pad like 3 months ago because my dad's a drummer, which is pretty cool because he's let's call it for what it is. My father was very different from like, not from like an average American man, but my dad was very different than the average Asian man. To explain, my father, as an Asian man, he rode Harley Davidsons, and not just like a regular Harley. He had like one of those like the monkey, or like the raised handlebars, and I mean he had other ones too. You know, he even as a kid, I was raised very white, which I was very thankful for. Like not a lot of Asian kids or Korean kids, they would rock climb, water ski. Yeah, I know how to wakeboard, like snowboard, dirt bike. I could like ride ATVs, you know. And it wasn't just like 1 or like 2 times. Like we had a boat, and we had like dirt bikes and ATVs. And we still have them. We have like, you know, the Doom buggy car. Yeah, it's actually sad. It's actually up for sale right now because yeah, we haven't used. So you know one of those buggies that's like the suspension is all like made for like off terrain. Yeah, it's like a race car, like a buggy. If anyone's in the market for like a buggy, yeah, my father's selling one. I don't know how much, but like of what I know, you could drive it on the street. It's like street legal, but it's like a total like off-road car, and it's like made for jumps, so you could like jump. It's like a little buggy. It was a lot of fun, but do I want it? Not really. Because like the reality is, like, when would I have time to go ride it? It's like, it's fun to have for like maybe like 7 days out of the year, but just to let like 15 grand sit for like 7 days. And some, honestly, we don't even write it now. It's just like, it's we wrote it a lot, like maybe 5,000 miles. But like, you gotta understand, it's like super loud in there. Like, it's so loud in that thing, and it's fun, you know. But I was able to do a lot of like American things, and like I got to enjoy like camping, you know, and like and not be how do I say it, like felt that like people look down on me, because that's like a normal thing. And I don't know, no, every Asian feels this. We are American, and we as Asian Americans, we know that we will always be inferior to white Americans. We know that. And to the people that can't accept that, you have to. Because there's nothing wrong with accepting that whites are the American race, and that we as Asian Americans are taking part in a white America. There's nothing wrong with that. I think people get so like caught up in their disagreements because they can't overlook the fact there's nothing wrong with America being white. It's wrong for like Americans to be like, oh hey, because I'm white, like you gotta treat me better, or I deserve more. No, that's wrong. But to the degree America is white, and I love that, because it makes us look better. You know, like on the pictures and like cinema, I'd rather be in a country where white people were the representatives. There is a fear factor and there's a respect factor for having like all our media like dominated by white people, and that is why Hollywood film is like mainstream popular, not just nationally but globally. There's a huge difference. There's some Asian movies in America, there's like, you know, but the core is American like white actors. And so what? Yeah, it would be cool if I was white and I was like super tall and good looking and like all the girls loved me. And that's not as simple as that. Like, Americans were raised to be polite, like hello, and like cordial, you know, like how are you to anybody. Doesn't matter if you're pretty, doesn't matter if you're ugly, it doesn't matter about who you are. It just, that's just their shaking a hand, or like their bow, or whatever it is. That's just their natural form of greeting. And due to that, it exposes them to being able to talk to more women. Asian men, we don't talk to women. Even me, I'm still kind of nervous, but I'm a little bit better. Because, oh, the one thing is because I'm not after, you know, the physical feature. I really am not. And this is why I'm like comfortable with speaking with like more attractive women, because it's like I'm not really after what every guy is after. Move on. And yeah, once we could just accept that. When I was like in high school, I was always yelling. I was always breaking things and fighting with my parents because I thought I was cool, you know? And then I moved to Bakersfield and I went through some stuff, and like I wasn't fighting with my parents, but I was like fighting my own battles, you know? And due to that, but my mom said to me, like, because I made a video exposing Indian nurses, because, you know, I had a lot of resentment towards Indian people. Not because of like, it's because they thought they were better than everybody. It's like, and they like mistreated people because they didn't see other people as equals. And I don't want to say what and what, but it's just like, if Indian people see this, they will agree. Like, Indian people are very confident people. So dude, this is like a lot of like video I have to edit, but either way, I don't know how I'm gonna split it up. But if anyone is dealing with like mental health issues, right? Like, trust me, brother, and trust me, sister, I am right there with you. And you know, no one really talks about like the normal mental health issues, like ADHD, or like being autistic, or, you know, or being able to like function in society. But like, even like the extroverts, right? You know, like when extroverts don't have the opportunity or option to like go out and socialize, they cringe. And I'm talking about the extroverts that like don't have money. You know, like you want to go out and meet people and talk because that's just like your personality, but like you can't go out because you don't have money. And then there's introverts that because they're good at making money, they have to keep going into places, and you know, the list goes on. But if you're dealing with mental health issues, like nature really helped me like get over like my anxiety and like being able to like open up. Because I'll be honest, I used to do things like this in my room, like because I don't know, I've always just like naturally recorded myself. I was always used to being behind the camera. I worked a lot, and I worked at like my parents' business, so it's like everywhere you work, even the office, everything there's a camera. So I was like really like familiar with like being behind the camera, because I've been like in front of a camera since like I was 16. And then what was I talking about? But yeah, mental health issues with the ADHD and everything, and like nobody wants to have a bad day. And regardless if I don't like people, that honestly, liking and disliking doesn't mean nothing. Seriously, the fact that I have to talk about being liked and disliked, okay, let's like put all of that in like a garbage bag. But if I could, what was I saying? Liked and disliked. If I could give everyone the opportunity to do exactly what I'm doing in their like specialized like interest, that would be worth watching a YouTube video and like a guy talking crazy all the time. So yeah, that's my reel. I'm not saying I think about that all the time, but I'll definitely say like 20% of my time goes into thinking about like ideas like this. Okay, and this is a real truth. When I started this YouTube thing, right, the reason that I chose the name SimplyDako is because I didn't want to be restricted to like any genre. Like I wanted to be able to upload anything I wanted of whatever I did on there. And I'm still debating if I want to go that route, because of everything that I learned on YouTube with all the vidIQ and like the YouTube videos I watched. You should pick a niche, and my niche, if anything, would be solo camping, because I could do all the other things in solo camping, but it's just kind of hard when like I want to spread a message or like show other like skills of mine. And I don't know if I want to like start a new channel from scratch. How would I explain it? We would go to a club and it didn't matter. And then like when DJs started getting popular, we started following DJs, and that's kind of how it is now. But back then it wasn't like that. So it's like right now all YouTubers have a niche, right? But I feel like later on people are just gonna start following the character, because it's gonna like diversify. They're gonna get bored of one channel being one thing. They're gonna want to have a channel with like multiple things, and that like they even like those multiple things. And it's usually similar in interests. Like I like camping, I'm a guy, so I like trucks, you know. I like heavier like rock music, you know. I like doing like sports kind of things, like rock climbing. And later on my videos, I'm gonna get some old like climbing gear out, and I'm gonna like try to like boulder some spots, you know, like all those things. And instead of like following the niche, you'd follow like that person. Like, oh, this guy does all of this, I could like do at least like 3 of these, and it would like step your game up. Honestly, I've said this so many times, but this is so sick. Seriously, like I really want this for everybody, to be able to do what you enjoy where you want to, and have the freedom where like money doesn't matter. Not because money doesn't matter now, because money won't matter from now and in continuance. So I made these chopsticks at the river. And then, yeah, the water that I'm using is actually from the river. And I know some people might not like, because I know some people like pee and stuff in the river. But I'll be honest, even with that, it's still healthy. I'm not saying like if someone does it right next to you, I wouldn't drink that water, but as long as like it clears, the river will flush it all down. I don't know if there's any health, actually I think there are health benefits because it's just like natural spring water. Oh my god, that's so good. Definitely having a view like this makes eating noodles that much better. So, to end of day 2 out here in Kern River. Thanks for watching. Good night. You know, I rarely get tired around like 9. Today's been a long day. Good night, everybody. If you don't get on YouTube, you're seriously gonna have such a bad like retirement. With that kind of skill and that power, they abused it. You know, they took advantage of it. Cause it's like, it's hard to look at your boss and be like, yeah, I did all my work and I did a good job. And you know, work is hard, but I'm really like trying my best to be like the best nurse I can be because I love my job. You know, I wouldn't be able to tell that to my boss and look them in the face and like not be really doing what I'm saying. And they do that all the time. I'm sorry to say it. It's just a lot of the work that should have been done because it was like patient care wasn't done. And it was hard for me to just accept that because there's no way I could do 2 sections, you know? I'm already handling like 35 patients. But my mom was like, because my mom watches my videos, which I'm very like appreciative for. I have very supportive parents. But my mom, she was like, David, you've said enough. Like you've talked about, you know, all the things that was like bothering you, and it's like do you really have to like go after the Indian nurses now too? And you know, I got mad and I was like, because I had so much anger, you know, because I went through like 2 years of like torment, not from this, but it was like multiple things that I was dealing with. And which solo camping really like helped me like through the process, and this is why I want this like for everybody, not just for myself. I want everyone to be able to like go out, pick a spot, be away from people, and like make videos to your like aspect, to your like spec, and make money. And not because you have to work, just because you enjoy doing it and you got comfortable behind the camera and you followed an equation of consistency, and like 10 years down the road where you didn't even expect it, like all of your bills and all of the things, you're still working, right? But like your mortgage and like your cell phone bill and your electricity, your cable, and you have the best of the like everything. Like you have a 5-bedroom house, you got a pool, and anybody that has a pool and a house that doesn't have a pool, the water bill is a lot higher for the person with the pool. What if all those expenses were just paid for because you go camping twice a month to Kern River, like right here? I think about things like this all the time, regardless if people like mistreat me or misjudge me, or like I get stressed out. Like nothing ever changed in my life, just my environment. And this is why, like, I don't know, I was just lucky to have supportive parents, because I knew that like nursing was one of these too. Like I will always fail because that is like my inevitable fate as an entrepreneur. But when I do and will fail, I have backup. And that's something that like everyone doesn't have. And like what I've been saying, it's like it's not fun to be free by yourself. So it's like, how do you get this freedom to everybody? And you can't give everybody money. That's not gonna work. You give a person a fish, the person will eat for a day. And if you teach the person how to fish, the person will eat forever. And I completely forgot what I was talking about. This is where my short-term memory is really bad. But regardless of anything, it doesn't have to be this. If you like to sew yarn, right? If you like to sew, right? And that's like your passion, and you make videos. Like what if you were like working, like yarning, like something, whatever, and you didn't even have to sell it. You were just like recording yourself yarn. And I like gave you all the information to get me where I'm at. That's freedom.